Hi, thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop here on YouTube. Okay, so lighting's a little different today because it's a dark and stormy day today here in sunny South Florida. We're under tropical depression warning, lots of flood warnings where I'm living, but it's okay. Lived in Florida for a long time now, so I'm kind of used to it. So anyway, so today I said that twice. We are going to be talking about Winterwood by Shaw Ernshaw. And you know what? Actually, I have a copy, physical copy. Usually I get a bunch of my arcs as, you know, ebooks. I really prefer paperbacks, but I get ebooks most of the time. So this one was not an arc. I actually pre-ordered this one, and yes, much like with Queen of Air and Darkness, I'm finally now getting to it. But I'm a huge fan of Shaw Ernshaw's work. I loved The Wicked Deep. And I really just pre-ordered it so that I could get the hardback, because I do love when covers, you know, are very detailed, very intricate. I have a high appreciation of that. I really wish I could work in a publishing house. But alas, I live in Florida. Not a lot of publishing houses down here, unfortunately. But I will say this, you know, I thought this was a really good book. I am a huge fan of Shaw Ernshaw. There's one thing that I say she excels at. It's creating her eerie atmosphere. I mean, her opening itself is pretty great. She sums up some of the events in the story, you know, a boy's missing, presumed dead, and she finds him 2 weeks later, and it's the dead of winter. She lives on a lake, bunch of lake houses, and her and her family have lived there all their lives, and across the lake is a camp for wayward boys, basically, you know, where you send your, as she says, where all the boys go when they've blown their last chance. So, no more last chances. This is it. You've been sent away. So I thought it was really good. And how she creates that atmosphere. You know, she's in the woods, she's looking for something. And these are dark woods. And I don't just mean dark as in you can't see the sun or the moonlight. I mean dark as in malevolent kind of woods. You know, I love that atmosphere that she creates in this. Let me see if I can find a perfect way to summarize it. But you know, while I'm looking, let me talk, so that you're not just staring at my face, because I'm pretty sure no one wants to just stare at my face. But I thought it was really pretty amazing how, you know, she says things like here, these woods are wild and rugged and unkind. They cannot be trusted. I mean, these are really dark, evil woods. You know, they have malice in their roots. They are a supernatural kind of force. But Nora is a walker girl. She is able to enter the Wicker Woods safely under, you know, a full moon. You know, the full moon's light is what protects her. Walker women are witches, and she doesn't shy away from that. And I think that's great about Nora's character, that she doesn't shy away from her heritage like her mother has. And you don't really get to see her mother in this novel. She's sort of she's absent throughout the novel. You know, she's off delivering honey, and a great snowstorm has come in, you know, pretty much blocked all the roads. People can't get in, people can't go out. So that's also another detail that it seems like such a small detail, but when you really think about it, I mean, it's really quite brilliantly done, how she structures the novel and how she writes. And, you know, here's another great line. You know, this novel's full of great lines. She can only enter under the full moon. A sleeping forest will allow safe passage, but if it wakes, be prepared to wind. I mean, that just gives another level to the atmosphere. It creates another level to the atmosphere. And I think it's really great how Earnshaw is able to create an atmosphere. I mean, she did it so wonderfully in The Wicked Deep. You know, I've read through that novel. I just read it, I think, within a day. I just couldn't put it down because that atmospheric writing, she has such strong atmospheric writing. She can create such a strong presence with just the atmosphere. You know, it's like the story is like it's a dark and stormy night. I mean, she doesn't say it's a dark and stormy night. She doesn't have to. I mean, that's one of those cliche lines. I love that line. You know, it was a dark and stormy night. Whenever it's storming like this, I say that to my son, and I make up little stories, especially when he can't sleep at night. But that's kind of like the essence you get with the storytelling. It was a dark and stormy night, and it was frigid, and it was dark, and the woods creaked with anger and malice. I mean, that's kind of me summing up the feeling I get when I read this novel, The Winterwood. And what I also think is really interesting about this novel is how it develops Nora. And it gives a lot of backstory. I mean, it has little interludes within the story, like this. And they give history to Nora's family and the Walker women. And I think it's really cool, because they all end with a sort of kind of spell, like, here's one. How to lure the crow from the garden. And I think it's really great how these are like little mini spells in here. I think that's amazing. It has Ernshaw's heart in it. You can see the devotion she put in creating this family and creating their heritage and creating, you know, everything that surrounds them. I think that's really quite brilliant. Now, as for Nora herself, she's pretty much an introvert, but she's perfectly content with being an introvert. She collects things that she finds in the Wicker Woods when she goes in under the safety of the full moon, and she sneaks the spell book from under her mother's bed. You know, her mother doesn't want her to be, you know, a witch or a Wicker woman like the rest of them, pretty much because they're ostracized from the entire town. But Nora doesn't mind, you know. She's perfectly content with being alone. She finds peace in being alone, and I think any introvert is gonna like connect with that. I know I did. I prefer being alone. I just want to sit back and just read my book, and I just kind of want people to leave me alone. But you know, I definitely connected with Nora, and I love how she owns it. She's just like people, you know, say to her, they say you're a witch, and she's like, yeah, I am. But she doesn't say it with like any sort of attitude. She just says it like it's a fact, like, yeah, I am. Like it's her truth, and she's owning her truth, and I kind of love that about Nora. She has a strong voice. She's a fierce character. When people try to bully her into doing something, she's like, no, she won't do it, basically. And I think that's kind of great about her, that she stays strong despite everything. And at the end of the day, I mean, she's the hero, ultimately, at the end. And I think that ending was kind of just like, blew my mind. It was such a good ending. I didn't see it coming at all. Completely blew me away. Just like with The Wicked Deep. Didn't see it coming at all. Blew me away. I was like, what? I thought it was amazing. I still need my cup of coffee. So I thought it was really cool how she's able to like whip out these endings, and they're just completely unexpected, but they fit so perfectly in the storytelling. I mean, that's amazing. It's wonderful. I love it. Love it. But that just goes to show that Earnshaw's writing is really strong. She has a really strong edge for storytelling. She's really good at atmospheric writing. She's really good at character development. Nora has a strong voice. She's not the only character here. Oliver is the other central character. He's the boy that went missing, the boy she found in the woods 2 weeks later, the boy who should, by all accounts, be dead and yet isn't. She found him. But his voice it's softer, I want to say. It has this sad edge to it. You know, he just lost his parents, living with his uncle, and his uncle doesn't want to deal with him. Just send him here because he doesn't want to deal with him. And I think it's a sad voice, you know. This humidity is really getting to my hair, but whatever. Happens all the time in Florida. I miss living in Boston. I used to live in Boston. I didn't used to have this problem. But anyway, neither here nor there. Oliver's voice is definitely, it is a softer kind of voice. It doesn't have the fierceness or the ferocity that Nora's voice does. And that doesn't mean he's forgettable. I think it brings out a perfect balance to Nora's voice because she does. My bank's bugging me now. She is the central focus of the story. But he brings something else to the table, I should say. There's no but. He brings something else to the table. He brings a softer edge to the story. He brings out the unexpected in a way, and I think that's really great how it's done and how it's stylized. And I like their dynamic. I think both of these characters together bring out a lot in one another. He opens her up a little bit more as far as the story, as far as her introvertness goes. She's still an introvert, very proud to be an introvert, but she's more willing to take some more risk with other people. And I like how that is done overall. So, you know, I mean, I love this book. I like this book a lot. I mean, it's good. It, you know, admittedly, the beginning, after that prologue, I mean, as long as you have an appreciation for her atmospheric writing, you're going to enjoy it. But it is a little, it's slower than The Wicked Deep, in my personal opinion. I thought The Wicked Deep moved at a faster pace for the story. But I felt like this one, she takes her time to develop it. Not saying that's bad, because again, it's key for her for setting up the atmosphere and for creating these characters and their dynamics with one another and setting up that ultimately amazing ending. But just, you know, over readers, it does have a slow opening. Nevertheless, I give this book 4 stars. Winterwood, 4 stars. Definitely highly recommend this novel. I love Ernshaw's writing. I really do. I love how she creates such a strong atmosphere with her storytelling. So, that being said, Winterwood by Shaw Ernshaw. Please check it out from your local library if money is too tight. And if it's not too tight, please remember to support your local bookseller. Please just go ahead and buy it on Amazon. Once again, they have enough business as it is. Support your local bookseller. And on that note, have a great rest of your day. And as always, happy reading.